Hey guys, it's Manga. Um, I am now doing a review series on the original Duel Monsters. I'm really excited about it because it's one of the greatest shows of all time. I think it's the greatest show of all time, anyway, personally. But I'm starting with the first episode, also known as The Heart of the Cards. Um, Debuted, I believe, September 29th, 2001. I had just turned 6 years old. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen, and it got me into anime. Um, it it changed my life. If it wasn't for this episode and what it meant to me, I would never have been a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Probably none of you would have ever been a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and that's probably honest. Um, just what I usually will do is go through five major points in the episode and say and rate it out of 10, 0 to 10, and see how good it was or how bad it was. Um, so the five major points of the episode is definitely that I want to go over is first off the opening, which was the opening when you can hear the pharaoh in the background saying "Long ago when the pyramids were still young," like that. That was amazing. I wish they had kept that in at least for all of Duelist Kingdom, but I understand why they didn't because they needed to get on with the episode. Um, it was definitely Dan Green voicing the Pharaoh for that opening part, and it was in like the first four episodes, I believe. But anyway, so I loved that. That was the first thing I wanted to talk about. Um, the second major point is definitely when Grandpa pulls out his rare card, of course, the Blue Eyes, and Kaiba. The way Kaiba first interacts with everyone always always set the standard for him. That is the moment that sets the standard. Although Kaiba is technically the villain in the first episode, it's the only time to me he's ever really the villain is the first episode, and you can see it here. The way he calls Grandpa senile old fool, like that stuff. I love that part when he's walking away with his briefcase. Senile old fool. That part, and of course, these cards are all about power. All that. I love it. That's the second major point. I love that. The third major point, when Kaiba, of course, rips up the fourth Blue Eyes, and you thought that was the only Blue Eyes. That was a legendary moment. That faked me out, of course, as a 6-year-old. It faked me out big time. I love that. That major point was incredible. And plus, the way he tore the card was always very satisfying to me. It just ripped so easily. As you all may know, cards do not rip that easily. Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I've tried. It doesn't work. Um, I think even Eric Stewart, Kaiba's voice actor, said people have come up and asked him about it to do it, and he just stopped doing it because it's just sort of like a phone book. The card is that thick. It's thick cardstock. Anyway, back to the episode. So the fourth major point I wanted to talk about was probably when Kaiba reveals that he had another Blue Eyes all along, and then later three. That was the big moment. The scene where it shows Yugi, and then in the background you can see the three Blue Eyes surrounding him on the duel field. That was incredible. Um, the Pharaoh's first transformation too was incredible. I guess I'll have 6 points for this one because I forgot about the Pharaoh's transformation. His transformation, his first one, will always be the best. It's always been my favorite. Um, well, the second episode actually was my favorite, but this one was almost equal with it. Um, it's the first time you ever see the Pharaoh, and the way he turned is so heroic. The way he turns from weak, timid little Yugi to the brave and powerful, all-knowing, all-smart Pharaoh is the greatest. He's my hero. That was the moment I realized I had a TV hero, and it was the Pharaoh. Um, that's all I need to say about that. But and then the fifth point I would say was where, well, The fifth point is probably, of course, Exodia Obliterate. There's a few more, but Exodia Obliterate uh, is, I mean, it's probably the most famous moment in the history of the show. There's a lot of famous moments, but this one is the one that set the show on the map. It's the reason the show became famous. I mean, it's been talked to death, I know, but the Exodia Obliterate, it's not possible. The way Kaiba just cowers to Exodia builds him up so beautifully. A duelist of Kaiba's caliber, crumbling so easily to this monster. You know this monster's legendary. It makes it so much more funny when Weevil tosses it over, and irritating as well when Weevil tosses it over the boat a few episodes later. But the way Exodia was shown was brilliant. The way the Pharaoh was first shown was brilliant. All of it just showed up so beautifully. We got to see all our characters, Joey, Tristan, Taya, they're all great. And I think we didn't really get to know them very well yet, but the friendship part where Taya draws marker on their hands, um, that was a great first moment to know, oh, this show is definitely pro friendship, big time friendship show. That was a great moment. But those six major moments specifically was what make this episode great, in my opinion. Um, if I had to rate this episode, it'd easily be a 10. It has to be 10. There's no other excuse. Um, it's the show that got us started on the map. It's one of the greatest episodes in the show, and that's saying something because there's a lot of great episodes in the show. Um, the duel is incredible. It's actually a very very good duel, even though it goes by very quickly. You know, I was surprised when I always knew it was it was a long duel, but it always felt short. That's how brilliant the duel was. I think it went like 20 something turns, 20, 21 turns. Um, a lot of it was just like flashed upon. You know, most of the important turns were shown, but the other turns were kind of, they weren't skipped, but they were like, it was like a montage. It was like a montage. So, yep. Oh, by the way, I know my drawing's not the absolute greatest, but I was in a rush to do this video. I'm just excited. I hope you guys are too, because I'm gonna review every single episode of Yu-Gi-Oh and then move on with that and keep doing the reviews on the other spinoffs. But that's this. I'm trying to show you why I love this show, and this episode perfectly encapsulated it. Um, 10 out of 10 easily, and I'm not going to easily just give out 10 out of 10 on every episode. The MVP of the episode is definitely the Pharaoh, but Kaiba was close second as usual. But the Pharaoh was the MVP of the episode. He stole the show. Everything he did, everything he touched was gold. um yeah. uh that's all I gotta say, guys. And I'll just let y'all enjoy the rest of this video, and just see how this drawing finishes out. And I'll see you guys in the next review video. It will be episode 2, The Gauntlet is Thrown. This was episode 1, Heart of the Cards. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was 10 out of 10. All right, thanks. Bye.